Okay, here's a question, and I'm going to ask it to you, and then I'll explain why I'm asking it, and I believe I have a point I'm trying to make here. Anyhow, the question is this: is the queen from chess an empowering character for feminists or people into social justice? If you feel that a game is a device for telling a narrative, communicating values, reflecting social values, implementing social change, and isn't just a plaything for entertainment, and it has an impact on a person's values and way they perceive gender roles and everything else, that ends up being an important question. If you want to then say it's not an object that's manipulated, then the chess queen is a gender character. You're going to say the queen is male or not a woman, then you get into the slang term for a flamboyant male homosexual. That's the term, it's slang. If you want to say the queen is a woman, then you have a woman. So it's the most powerful piece on the chessboard. The powered up unit in fantasy chess also usually goes by the name Amazon following it. Anyhow, when the queen got power on the chessboard, there was debate about it. People said, no more piece can be more powerful than the king, particularly a piece that was seen as a woman. But they did with it. And it said, well, what happens when the king has more than one queen on the board? What is the values to it? So here's the situation you face. If you're going to be getting into games being more than entertainment, I'm not saying they can't do this, but if they're going to and you're going to make a big deal about it, then you start asking questions about, is the queen an appropriate role model? Is the queen a role model? Should we trumpet the queen as an important thing as a sign of liberation for genders? That's if you want to go beyond it. And, you have the gamer gaming side, too, where you have gamers as a culture. You're not just players. You have gamers as your identity. I'm a person who plays games. Games are important to me. And it becomes an issue, too. And then we're going to have the thing where it's part of your culture, your life, so then you're going to use games as a narrative device. So then you're going to wonder about it. So now we're going to have the queen as an important piece. So the next thing is that when we come out with the next chess game, we got to give all the pieces a backstory. Let's do a version of Game of Thrones. We'll hire the actor, and the chess queen's very important to it. If they're beyond objects, we got to do this thing and have identity behind it. I guess we'll cosplay chess queens. So that's a question I have for you. Do you want games to be more than games than you're getting to? You might as well answer that question. You might as well trumpet the chess queen as some very important thing and breakthrough in gender roles. Well, then we define as woman. Well, a boy can't be a queen or whatever else. Or that's if you don't just want to see there's something you play with and you entertain. I'm going to post some links below for some stuff. The main one is, in the end, all we do is make toys, which is a blog I did on my the blog version of this, non-video version of it, which I did. We looked at people when you try to take games and make them more than they are. Anyhow, and if you're trying to make being more than somebody who plays or a player, and you have this culture, you get into all this stuff here. You miss the main point. It's fun. Part of the reason why, and I'll be closing shortly, but I want to say this point here, part of the reason why I would say interactive experience is a good term, so we can have games as something a little bit different and not get all this extra baggage. Now we're going to have chess games that need backstories. All the characters need to have a plot behind it, and the pawn needs to have a story. And we got to hire voice actors and spend $40 million on the script for a chess game. You can do that, but hey, it lends to the immersion. But anyhow, so if you're a gamer or anything else, think about that. I mean, maybe you just want to play and don't care, but anyhow, maybe I think we should just be players and not worry about it. But hey, it's there. If you want to make a big deal about it, ask the question. Is the queen in chess an empowering character for feminists or people into social justice? And if so, what do you want to do about it? You want to trump it? Hey, Anna Sarkeesian, why don't you bring up here as an idea? Why don't you discuss the chess queen in your next Tropes versus women? The chess queen, very empowering. I'm sorry, I haven't seen anything there, but anyhow, let me get going. I don't want to get too nasty here or anything else. Anyhow, I do want to thank you for watching, and may your die always roll 5.